The key points of the CBS Flex MBA is actually flexibility. So you can take it as an ordinary MBA, all 3 modules at once, or you can actually decide to take 1 module at a time. The reason for designing it that way was because we met a market demand. We had people coming asking for it, and we saw that some actually had trouble getting financing, getting the family in place, and get the career in place. So that's why it's flexible. The quality of it is exactly the same as the ordinary cohort MBA. And when I say cohort, it's because you study with the same group from beginning to end. Quality is an academic institution's cornerstone. We don't compromise with that because that's all we got, basically. We also use our own research. 50% of our teachers are actually coming from CBS. And then we have the liberty and ability to pick amongst the best from other schools that we have relationships to. So when you meet a CBS professor, most of them actually do teach at our Flex MBA and the other one as well. So getting to that point also means that we are based on research, our own research, Scandinavian-based research, cases from Scandinavia. Of course, we also use cases from other schools as such, but it's quite important to note that it's a Scandinavian context. And we are, in the Nordic region, the strongest MBA. We've been that for quite some years. And we also get teachers from other schools in Scandinavia. So the Scandinavian touch on all subjects, and that leads to a very different approach. And we actually have students traveling even from the US to take an MBA at CBS, just because we have a Scandinavian approach, which they find to be much more interesting than management styles in other parts of the world. So that's a very decisive kind of thing. Quality assurance is something that we actually have in many ways. We have students actually giving us feedback, which is unknown in other organizations. We have regular meetings with teachers. I have regular meetings with the individual teachers when we get the feedback from the students, trying to understand what is going on, why do you get this reaction on your study, etc. And since this is not a popularity game, it actually is a question of saying the feedback that you get, what's happening here, what are you trying to achieve as a teacher? And my goal here is not to have happy students. My goal here is to have good students that actually know them a lot when they leave, and then I'm less concerned with the way they get there. So good students that will afterwards say, I didn't like it, but I sure learned a lot. I'd rather have. And we have them. We also have very happy students in some cases, but it's not just a question of happiness. It's also a question of quality. And then we, of course, measure ourselves against other schools. We do that in terms of discussions with the curriculum that we actually meet with other schools and discuss, but we also do it in a way where we listen to what the market is saying. And the market in this case is represented by rankings, typically represented by individual organizations or newspapers such as Financial Times. We are currently top 100. We have been moving up and down in that ranking. The goal is, and has been for the past 2 years, and I'm quite sure we'll achieve it in a few years, is top 50. We are the best school in Scandinavia. We know that by the rankings, but we would like to move up in the European rankings in top 5. We are in the top 10 right now.